How's it going, bozos? And in today's video I'm going to tell you why the push-pull split is the best training split when you are training 4 days a week. You need to make that clear. So a lot of us do choose to train 4 days a week, which does make a lot of sense because it's still a decent amount of training time and you should be able to fit that in consistently without life getting in the way too much and the gym getting in the way of your life too much. There is obviously a plethora of splits you can use, whether it be full body days, some sort of bro split type of thing where you're training one body part a day, an upper lower split which is quite popular at the minute. They can all work and I'm not saying any of them can't work, but in my opinion the push-pull split is the best by far out of them, and I'm going to give you the reasons why. It's my go-to for all my clients in most cases, and obviously if they are trying to work on something a bit more specific, then we would change the split up, but just in generality, you want to train to get bigger and stronger, you need to be doing a push-pull split over 4 days a week. Now you may be thinking that I have missed something pretty important out, which is legs, but when I'm talking here about a push and pull split and the way that I do it, what I tend to do is I include legs within the pull day. So you've really got like a push day and a legs and pull day. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to call it push and pull. That actually includes legs as well. Now the first best reason about why I like a push-pull split so much is because it's going to allow you to train every muscle evenly across the week and give you a good balanced approach. And for example, if you were doing like an upper lower split, then that's going to leave you training one muscle on one day, your legs, and then 5 muscles on another day. And obviously that's great for your leg training, but it's not going to give your upper body muscles that adequate amount of volume they need to grow and get stronger, in my opinion. And that's why by splitting it up into a push day where you've got your chest, your shoulders and your triceps, and then you've got your pull day that includes legs, so you've got your legs, back and biceps, 3 on one day, 3 on the other. It's as simple as that. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, does that not mean you're neglecting legs because you're not doing as much training for your legs? And I suppose technically, in a way, that is true. However, I believe as a principle, you should focus on training your legs with lower volume but at a high intensity. I don't care what anybody says, if you are doing squats and deadlifts and training them really hard and pushing very close to failure for 3 to 5 sets, then you shouldn't have too much in the tank to be able to then go and do like 2, 3, 4 exercises after it. And certainly you can do them, I suppose, but not at any decent quality. You properly push yourself in squats and deadlifts, and that should be the bulk of your leg, lower body training, like done for that session. You should be pretty much close to being spent, especially if you're focusing on strength. If you are training sort of purely for hypertrophy, then yeah, there's an argument to be made that you do need a little bit more volume to go and grow your legs because it's a bigger muscle group. But when you're training within the confines of having a limited amount of time and you are only able to train 4 days a week, you can get away with training your legs with 2 really heavy and hard exercises, maybe a third on one of the days, and obviously that's all providing that at least on one of the days you're doing a squat and on one of the days you're doing a deadlift. And the way that I program a client's leg training in a push and pull split is on one of the pull days you do a squat variation, one of the days you do a deadlift variation, and then you have your secondary exercises that works in contrast to that. So on the squat day you're doing a glute and hamstring focused exercise, and on the deadlift day you're doing a quad focused exercise. You can maybe sometimes add a third exercise on one of the days as a finisher, but you're doing heavy hard squats and deadlifts, you should be pretty much spent. You can get through another exercise decent quality after, you should not have too much more in the tank after that. And I suppose on a similar-ish kind of thread to that, one of the other advantages of training in a push-pull split is it's going to allow you to include a wide sort of variety of exercises to keep your program fresh and it not get too boring. Obviously we're not toddlers and just need novelty all the time in our workouts, and it is going to get a little bit repetitive and boring sometimes. However, I'm talking about this more from a technical point of view, and the way that I would be splitting up the push and pull days isn't you have like a push workout and a pull workout that you do twice a week. You have 4 different workouts you do over the week. You have 2 different push sessions, 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 you're gonna have 2 different push sessions, you're gonna have 2 different push sessions. Fuck me, man. We have 2 different push sessions and 2 different pull sessions, and that's gonna allow you to train a multitude of different exercises and allow you to set the focus differently in each session. So for example, on a push day, normally I would have one chest focused day where we're doing something like a bench press as our main exercises and try to get strong on that. The other day we have it as a shoulder focused day and doing something like a military press to obviously build our shoulders up. And I suppose just in general, if you are working as like a blank canvas, you've got no real specific targets in mind in terms of anything you want to focus on in particular, you've not got any injuries or ailments, and you're relatively well trained just now. If I was to just say, like, here's a sort of template of a push-pull day, the way that I would do it is I would have about 6 exercises in each session, and I would have 2 per each body part. One of the exercises for the body part is definitely a compound movement. The secondary one can maybe be a compound movement or an isolation exercise. That's you pretty much good to go. Really general. Obviously, when I'm working with someone, it would be a bit more specific and taking into account what they need to focus on and what they need to work on. And by doing it like this and having like the 4 different individual workouts, you're going to allow for adequate recovery time between each of the specific exercises and the specific way that the muscles are worked. So for example, let's just go with the push day analogy. If I start my week off with bench press, if I do my bench press hard, obviously I do my secondary stuff, I come to my second push day and I'm focusing on my shoulders and still training my chest, but just not at the same intensity. That's going to give me like a whole week for my chest to recover fully, but still get the hypertrophy benefits because I have trained it within that time, and then I can go hard again the following week on the bench press, rather than if I was to do the bench press on the Monday and then come to it again on the Thursday. There's not too much recovery time there, which is going to mean that I just can't do it as well, and it means not as many gains. Now that's the main points, and I hope that that all makes sense. Now, if you do want to understand how you can set your training up on your own, I do have my 4 weeks free coaching, which is linked in the bio. And what I also have down there as well is Shite, which is my self-honed intense training experience, which, to be honest, the 4 weeks free coaching is better than that, but the Shite is just going to go into a little bit more detail of things and explain to you just the basic principles to follow and how to set up programs, set up your nutrition, and within that there is a program builder. That's going to run you through how to build your own programs, including a 4-day split, and obviously using the outline of the sort of push-pull, including legs, that I just laid out for you there. All you need to do is sign up with your email, and that's you good to go. Make sure you like and subscribe for new videos every single week. Help with socials and all that. If you're like, this guy knows what he's fucking talking about, and you want some proper coaching to get you in proper shape and strength in 2025, coaching inquiry form is down below as well. Fill that out and I will get back to you ASAP. Have a good week and I'll catch you soon.